Before we get started today, just as a reminder, we would like to remind you to shut your cell phones off and turn the Wi-Fi off. It helps with our Zoom, so if you would do that, we would appreciate it. Today is a very special day here at Fairfield. This is the day when we honor our graduates, our high school graduates, our college graduates. We're all so very proud of you. This past week, we had a grandson who turned 18 years old. And it was like unbelievable. We couldn't believe that Mason turned 18 years old. And I was reflecting back, and I remembered his first Halloween. He was 5 months old. David and Andrea brought him to our house in a lion costume. The thing about it is, he went to sleep before he got to our house, and there was nothing we could do to rouse that child. We raised his arm up, we set him up, he just laid there, and all I could think about was how adorable he was in that lion costume. And that's all I could think about was this little boy. Next thing we knew, Mason was learning to ride a bicycle without training wheels. And then we turned around and he was driving a car. Unbelievable. But we're just as proud of him now as we were when he was a toddler. We've enjoyed every stage of his growing up. A few months ago, Mike and I hosted a dinner. And at our dinners, we like to have a question of the evening. It kind of gets the conversation going. We learn a lot about other people when we do this, and they learn about us. But our question of the evening is, knowing what you know now, if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self advice, what would you say? And it was amazing, some of the things that people said. It was all outwardly focused. But sometimes what isn't said is just as important as what is said. Not one person said, "I wish I hadn't learned as much." Nobody said, "Oh, I wish I just hadn't lived so well." And nobody said, "I wish I had spent more time in the office and less time with my family." Nobody said those things. Basically, what they said was, even in their silence, live more, love more, learn more, and laugh more. Life is good most of the time, but life is hard some of the time. But your future is dependent on how you handle life, not what life hands you. Nelson Mandela said one time, "Plant a tree under whose shade you may never sit." I think that he may have meant, go out and plant a tree, but I also think he meant it metaphorically. Go out and plant a tree of encouragement, a tree of hope, that you may never see somebody sitting in that shade, but you have planted that tree. Graduates, you are our future. Thank you. Leaning on the everlasting arms, let's all stand. It's in Worship and Song, page 201.
to dread? Why have I to fear? Leaning on the everlasting arms. I have blessed peace with my roots of deep, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, safe and secure from all harms. Leaning on the everlasting arms.
It's time for announcements, and anybody on Zoom, if you would go first, that would be great. I think we have none from Zoom. Is there anybody here who has an announcement?
Okay, mine is an announcement, a joy, a request. So Olya's H-1B1 visa was approved. My friend from Ukraine, who's been a refugee in Poland for a couple months, and her family was approved to all come here, and it's all moving so quickly. She's going to work at UND, and she starts June 1st, so she's moving here Wednesday. So, yeah! She's going to be living with my dad, and we do need some things for the house, and I'm just putting this out there if anyone has any of these items. If not, well, there are many avenues of people who have also said they'd like to help, but we thought we had a queen mattress, but we could use a better one because we found a little mold. Even though we cleaned it, we don't feel good about it. And then a dresser for the kids' room, and either a bookshelf or a toy box. They have a lot of toys that have been donated, and they're bringing some with them from Poland. All these kids donated toys to them from the local school, but we don't really have a place to put them, and they could use a new bookshelf for all the books they've been receiving. So bookshelf, dresser, queen mattress, and a toy box, or just some container that could hold toys and not have them everywhere. So if you have any of those things that you would be willing to pass along, that would be excellent. And if not, no worries. We'll reach out to other people too. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. And I'm just it feels so surreal, but I'm so excited to hug Olya in real life again, meet Orest for the first time. She was pregnant when I saw her last. So it's just really a really exciting time.
Any other announcements? No. Oh, sorry.
I'd like to invite anyone who is interested in joining our writing group. We're meeting today at 1 o'clock in the building. And anyone that has information that needs to go into the newsletter, I need it as soon as possible. And I have an issue that I would appreciate some help with. Getting here to run off the copies to send out to people via mail is a problem for me. So if anyone could help do that, I can send you the newsletter. It just needs to be brought here to run off and then mailed out. There are about 24 of those, so I can't do it at home. But anyone that could help with that, I'd appreciate it. And another issue is our anniversaries and birthdays are not up to date. And if yours is not being displayed in the newsletter, please let me know and I'll make sure it gets on the list.
Thank you. I think that's it. Anybody else? Okay, thank you. It is time for offerings, which we don't pass the plate anymore, but there is a plate at the back of the room here where you can put your donations. You can do it by PayPal, which is a great way to do it. We have baskets out in the gathering room for anybody who wants to give food to QNOT. You can also donate money to go to QNOT. Our church has been very supportive of that particular ministry, so we appreciate your help with that.
An idea. I think if you're coming to a new country and someone says, here's a mattress, and gives you one they've been using, that's not always a joyful experience. Most people today buy mattresses online. You can go on Amazon and buy them. They'll ship it right to your house. You open up the box, lay it out on your bed, open the plastic, and it rises like a cake in an oven. And they're wonderful mattresses. I bet today, while we're here, we could raise enough money, give it to Amanda, and take care of the mattress issue right now. Having a used bookshelf is one thing. Having a used mattress is another. So let's kick that off and help get Olga and her husband a nice new mattress. So raise your hand, Amanda, so everybody knows where you are. Shower her with money afterwards, and we'll get that family a new mattress. Well, Tara, it's good that you can join us. Would you like to? We're ready for you if you're ready.
Are you?
We are.
Okay.
Come on, bring the kids up.
All right. So we are playing catch up in the world of post-COVID as far as who has what Bible and is getting what Bible, and things are going to change after Jan retires today. So we're going to kind of put it all in one. The first thing I wanted to offer for everyone to know is the Malloy Scholarship is awarded to Melita Suleiman, and so that will be, I have that here for either it's going to be mailed in a package or we're going to make sure she gets it. So she had wanted to come today for graduation Sunday, but she is going to start working at Quaker, and today's, I think, one of her first days, so she was not able to come. I think the only baby Bible we have to give is to Ezra May. And before I do that, is she here? Yeah. I thought so. I told Jan she can give out the Bibles, but I've been telling people one thing, but I made the tags today. We're giving the Bibles from here until I quit doing this at some point, a long time from now. We are giving all the Bibles. They have a little paper. They're given by Fairfield Friends in memory of Emma Alkire and in honor of Jan and Ralph Baker. So if you want to go ahead and give that to Ezra May. And then I know for sure that Finley does not have the Storybook Bible. And I do not think that Isabella has this Bible. I think she hasn't gotten that one yet. So this is yours for today. She already has one, but you can have another. And then I I'm going to start, I talked with both Laura Essex and Laura Ballinger, and I have the Bible for Ruby and Jack and Jonas, but then I also kind of wanted to start a tradition since it's all changing, and if you haven't seen this, when they kind of get a little bit older, second or third grade, each kid at Fairfield is going to get the book Change Sings by Amanda Gorman. If you have not seen this book, the first week back, we just had such a good time seeing the kids, and with everything that goes on in the news, when you get to spend time with these kids, I read this to them because they're the change. You know, when I look at them, they just make my heart so happy. So they're gonna get both today. So I don't know, is Jack here? I don't think I saw. Okay, so Ruby, here's your Bible, and here is your book. Maybe. That one's Jack. Is Nala here today? Because I'm giving her this book, but no. Okay. And Nala and Ava are going to get this book. Nala and Ava are going to get this book, but I'm also looking at kind of a teen option, preteen option for them to have as well. And so then, the last thing I have. I want to say my piece about Jan retiring before I do this. I think you heard me when I was mentioning it a little while ago. I taught at Northwood, which is where she taught almost all of her time. Mostly. I student taught there, and this is actually about Ralph to start, because I've been talking about Jan on Facebook and to the kids. When I was student teaching, my cooperating teacher, we were standing in the hall on, not back to school, it's like a circus, but a fair, what do they call them? Where they all come and play games, all the kids and all the parents on a Friday night, and the teachers are ready to go home. Carnival, thank you, Jimmy. And Megan Kiefer, my cooperating teacher, comes laughing down, and she said, "That man is the funniest, sweetest man in the whole world. He'll do anything." And I think I didn't know Fairfield. I didn't even know what being a Quaker was at that point. But I think that just epitomizes both Ralph and Jan. They just will do anything and just be the hands and feet of Jesus in action. And like I said, I watched her retire, thinking I would retire at some point after 40 years of teaching, and I gave it up. But it wasn't until this morning, or actually last night, that I kind of started panicking, because I thought, I really am going to have to do this by myself now, because Jan is a resource of so many things and has given so much to this meeting, and just so much to me as far as knowing what to do and when to do and answering all the questions. So we are going to miss her so much. So and we're playing some games, and I haven't told them, but I wanted to tell you all, and I'm going to make a video. When we're done with being in here, we're going to go back, and we've missed 2 Christmas programs. And Jonas will sing the Jesus song, "The Virgin Mary Had a Baby Boy," forever. And so we're going to go back, and I'm going to have her teach the kids the Christmas songs and sing them, and I'm going to video them, because we missed Christmas again. So that'll be a little treat for you all later. And the last thing COVID had us miss was time together. I remember we had the thing at Rita and Mike Goss's, I forget what we called it, it was a cool word, a summit, and Ruby had said that she really wanted more time to play with the kids. And we are actually having a play date today at the Ballingers. But I had taken a picture of Ruby with Finley when we first came back, and Laura had said how much, she had missed. That's what COVID made us miss. Jonas didn't even remember who Jack was. He was like, "Who's Jack?" And I have some boys I want to come up here. Andy, Remy, and Tondi. Lucas is not here. I have a feeling when you told him I was going to make him come stand up here, he decided to stay home. I I have something for you, and if you want to sit, you can sit. That's fine. I'll come find you. I will come find you. But you're going to get mailed a book, The Giver, which is my favorite book. I named Jonas after that book. You might have read it. You might have it. But in the book, The Giver, Jonas was able to see beyond. And if you meet these boys and have a conversation with them, they have seen beyond for a long time. In the classroom, I haven't erased it yet, but Andy, we were talking about all the things that FCNL does on a national level, and Andy was like, I want to study nuclear war and how to end nuclear weapons. And I was like, this will be awesome. And then COVID hit. So we did not do that. But all three of those boys are immensely talented in so many things, academically, musically, and just they have such a gentle spirit and sensitivity to this world and what is true and right. And COVID stole that from me. You know, COVID stole 2 years I could have got to spend with them more. And that just makes me really, really sad. So they're not coming up here, but I will find them. And I think that is all. What is that?
And if we can have our high school graduates come down. Where did Abby go? We always know where your grandma is. You don't have to. Well, it is an honor to have you with us today, gather you together to express our happiness and appreciation for your accomplishments, and to say that we are expecting nothing but wonderful lives. I know you all and have heard of you all long enough. In fact, I dedicated you as a child, and I was there about a half a day after you were born, Araya, but I'll try not to feel old. And Chase, my wife, taught your mom in Sunday school when Joanne and I were first married, and I think you were 5 or 6. And we have a picture that I threatened to unveil, but I haven't yet. So we have a history. We have a history. Chase, this is for you. Book of Quaker Wisdom. It is written by Robert Lawrence Smith, who was the headmaster at Sidwell Friends meeting in Washington, D.C. That's just a wonderful book. Lynn Adams referred to it as a good roadmap for life. And so we are giving that to you in hopes that you will find it a rich book. Ralph, we have a book for Jonathan, so I'll be sure to give that to you before you leave today. We know you have a graduating grandson. All right, here you go also, a Quaker Book of Wisdom. Congratulations. IU
Yes.
to study?
School of Business.
Kelly School of Business, okay. All right. Now, Chase, I understand you're really interested in an electrician.
Yeah.
Okay. So how soon will you get your license, and how soon can I call you when I need help?
Just applied yesterday.
You just applied yesterday.
Go from there for like a month or so, and then I'll get a call back from them or
That's
email.
neat. That's neat. Congratulations. Congratulations. And Abby, this is for you. A book of Quaker Wisdom. What are your plans?
I'm also going to
Also going to IU to study what? Do you know yet? Pre-med. Oh, this is wonderful news. Because I could always use a doctor. As a hypochondriac, this news fills me with joy. Congratulations. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. It's a wonderful school. Frank, did you hear that? No Purdue graduate, no Purdue students this year. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for being with us. How good it is to gather together with our families and our friends, to pause from the haste of this week and to reconnect, to remember, to celebrate, affirm, and encourage. Oh God, this is such a wonderful gift you give us, the gift of one another. In all of our actions, in all of our events and responsibilities, can we see goodness and light? Can we be encouraged by the good of so many people working so hard to make this a better place? For we confess, O God, that we have grown cynical, that we have believed that no one is as good as us, and it has caused us to worry unduly. So God, may we see light, may we see goodness, may we see kindness, and may we see it where we have come not to expect it at all. This is our hope. Amen. Let us stand and sing together hymn number 185 in worship and song, Amazing Grace. Well, it's an honor to have our graduates with us today. How proud your families must be of you, and how happy we are that you are with us. For the past 12 years, some days when you didn't feel like it. You woke up, got cleaned up, got dressed, ate your breakfast, ideally, and went to school. You did that for 2,160 days. Because of COVID, you spent some of those days at home, tied to a computer, hoping life would soon return to normal. And you persisted. And now here you are, possessing a treasure no one can ever take from you. Knowledge. Knowledge, which is a wonderful thing. But it's not the only thing. There are plenty of knowledgeable people who never get around to accomplishing much of anything. I'm not sure when it happened, but at some point in our country, we believed that people who went to college were somehow better than those who went to trade school, technical school. We started thinking that community colleges, technical schools, and apprenticeships were for people who weren't smart enough to go to college. And now we find ourselves needing more and more and paying more and more for the expertise of people who work with their hands, who repair the machines and computers we own, who build the things we need, who grow the food we eat. I have a friend who, when he was 12 years old, he lives up the street from me. We bonded over our common love for motorcycles. And when he was 12 years old, he was curious about how motorcycles ran. So one summer day, while his father was at work, he took apart his father's motorcycle engine. His efforts were successful. By the time his father arrived home a little after 5, the engine was put back together. My friend knew how engines worked, and his father was none the wiser. He said, I never told him. And let that be some advice to you, graduates. There are things that you will be doing in the next 4 years that you don't have to tell your parents about, okay? In fact, they would probably prefer it. There are just some things that we don't need to know everything our children do we? We don't need to know that. We tell them that we want to know everything, but we don't really lie. We don't really mean that. There are some things you can just keep to yourself. But I really like my neighbor, and I like him because of being able to take apart a motorcycle engine at the age of 12 and having it back together by 5. I can take it apart. I can take apart a motorcycle engine all day long. It's getting it back together that's always been the issue for me. What would compel a 12-year-old to do that? Curiosity. Curiosity. Curiosity would drive it, and confidence would allow it. Curiosity and confidence, both of which my neighbor has in spades. He'll tackle anything. Home repair, electricity, plumbing, motorcycle restoration. There's a broken lawnmower in my garage because I lack the confidence to take it apart and replace the transmission seals. Jennifer was using it at her house, at the rental that we have, and it broke down, so I brought it over to my house in an effort to fix it, and I realized it would be easier for me to drive my riding lawnmower that does work 2 miles each direction to Jennifer's house and mow their yard than it would be to fix that mower. It has transmission seals that have gone bad. Now, I know how to fix this mower from watching YouTube clips. So I have the knowledge. I just can't bring myself to take wrench in hand and do the job. So knowledge isn't enough. And college degrees aren't always an indication of one's ability, intelligence, or potential. If you go to college and graduate 4 years from now, whatever else happens to you, when you walk across that stage, diploma in hand, please, please don't let it make you a snob. Don't look down on other people in life who chose a different path, because one day, in the depths of winter, a water pipe will burst in your house, and you won't be able to Google a sociologist or a doctor or lawyer to fix it. You will seek out a plumber, and when that plumber arrives, you will drop to your knees and thank God, and you will open your wallet and give them any amount of money they ask for. You will be profoundly grateful that they had a different calling in life than you did. Don't ever, ever, and this is for all of us, look down on anyone whose path in life is different from our own. We need all the gifts there are. Remember too, and I'm done picking on you, recent graduates, this is more for we adults now. Remember too that our education should never stop. I was listening to a clip of Bill Maher the other day, and he said 75% of the people in America who've graduated from high school have never read another book, and 25% are lying about it. There's always something new to learn. Always. We can always do more than we think we can. We can always accomplish more than we believe, no matter what anyone says about us. I'll tell you a graduation story about my sister, my older sister, Jean, Chick. We've always called her Chick because she looked like a chicken when she was born. So I'm sure that didn't affect her sense of self-esteem or anything at all. So she graduates from Danville in 1974. She wants, above anything else in the world, to be a nurse. So when she met with her guidance counselor to look at colleges, her guidance counselor said, "You are not smart enough to be a nurse. You should be a secretary. So take a typing class." Now, there's nothing wrong with being a secretary or administrative assistant, but my sister wanted to be a nurse. So off she went to college and became a nurse. Last week, she returned from Kenya, where she has been 9 times in the past 6 years, helping Kenyan children who suffer from hemophilia. She is today one of the nation's leading experts on hemophilia. My sister, one of us finally did something. My sister, who, if she had listened to her guidance counselor, would never have become a nurse. Would never have become a nurse. Curiosity is a wonderful thing, but if you couple your curiosity with confidence, there'll be no end to what you can accomplish. So be curious. Be curious. Learn all you can and never, ever stop learning. No matter how old you get, read, think, discuss, engage. There's always something more to learn. Have confidence in your ability to do difficult and unfamiliar things. For God's sake, most of all, don't end up being a 61-year-old man with a broken down mower you're too afraid to fix. There's another definition of the word graduate. The conventional definition is the receiving or conferring of an academic degree or diploma. But there's a lesser known definition of graduate that I want to leave you with this morning. And this is for all of us, no matter our age or vocation. The lesser known definition of graduate is to change gradually. To change gradually. What a promising word that is. Perhaps the finest word in the English language. Graduate. To change gradually. That's what education should do for us, whether it's formal education or whether it's a book we might read at the age of 60. It should gradually change us, but not just change us. It should change us for the better. If our knowledge isn't making us better people, we are learning the wrong things. If our education isn't inspiring us to become more loving, more helpful, more committed to a just and better world, we are learning the wrong things. I am amazed today at the number of Ivy League graduates now serving in government who show no evidence of having learned a thing, whose actions reflect no appreciation for history, science, or democracy. It isn't enough to receive a degree from a renowned university. It's what you do with that degree and the knowledge it represents. Use your wisdom for good. Put it to work for the good of humankind. Whether you attend college or a technical school or no school at all, use your knowledge to enhance life, not diminish it. Use your knowledge courageously. Let it transform you. You will be learning and always learning amazing things. Put it to use. Put it to use. Let it make you brave and informed. Let it help you and our world evolve. And we should do this no matter how old we are. As long as we're alive, we should study. Robert Ingersoll, the great agnostic, said, only death has the right to end our learning. Only death has the right to end our learning. Don't stop graduating just because you've graduated. Don't stop graduating just because you've graduated. Congratulations, young people. We're proud of you, and we are honored by your presence this morning. Thank you for being with us. Hymn number 542 in the blue hymnal, O Master, Let Me Walk With Thee. And Ralph Baker, you come up too. Ralph, you come up too. We don't want to miss any opportunity to embarrass you. Come on up, Ralph.
We insist. Okay, you heard the Randy Horton part. I know we have guests, and the reason I was invited up here is because I am what we call the presiding clerk at Fairfield, and I have official business. You've heard lots about Jan and Ralph Baker this morning, and I'd like to add that there's not enough good you can say, probably. And what we're going to do is, as of the next monthly meeting for business, we're going to record this minute of appreciation, which I will read to you. Fairfield Friends Meeting expresses its deep appreciation for the teaching ministry of Jan and Ralph Baker. For 36 years, the Bakers have faithfully and cheerfully shepherded the spiritual growth of our meeting's children. Generations of Fairfield children have been blessed by their guidance. We join with them to thank the Bakers for their dedication. Thank you, Jan and Ralph.